Okay, so this is my screencast for the Edge Animate and the Premiere Pro project for my music video. So, in Edge Animate, I'll show you my animation. This is promoting me as a sound engineer. Okay, so in terms of layers, these are all named appropriately so they're easy to find. Into symbols, so we've got the back of the mixing desk, which is just shown here. It's the grey rectangle with the grooves, and then on top of that I made a fader and then duplicated them along here, taken them from the symbol box. Then I made a singular tape, which then I made another symbol into a blocker tape, which so I can move down and cover the screen. I also made a vinyl here, and I also experimented by making an SM58 microphone, but that I decided not to put in my project. So in terms of effects, I've got blur in my name, and then I have flying faders essentially of a mixing desk going up and down the y-axis. Later on I have text come in and change colour alongside a vinyl rotating. Then I also have an imported image of my logo with more text explaining my services. Okay, so into Premiere Pro. So for my music video, I decided to do Beck Heart as a Drum, which is an acoustic song and is quite slow. So for editing wise, I made sure that there was a lot of slow motion footage, and instead of doing very quick edits of footage, they were a lot longer. But as the music sort of starts to pick up a bit more, as you can see here, the shots start to get a lot quicker. So going through, this is the start scene, and in terms of effects I've used for this, it's just simple color control. Examples, I used a filter on this, which works quite nicely. It was a Fujian film, and then I have a time lapse here, and a fade in to the title, and then also a fade out as well into the next scene. This is an example of like a moving panning shot, an up shot here, just zooming in on the feet here, over the shoulder, the transition into a right panning shot. And on a lot of these I used just color correction mainly. A lot of brightness needed turning up to give it this kind of warm feeling of sort of sun, and to fit the sort of sound of the music video. Especially this footage here, I had to turn over the brightness quite a bit and just bring out the contrast so you can see these roots here nicely. Coming up is this is an example of a glitch shot. So I edited, this is one same piece of footage, but I just sliced it using the slice tool, or the razor tool, and deleted parts of it out so it appears glitchy, obviously going forward. Okay, so this is where the car comes in, and we have examples of close-up shots of the key being turned and handbrake being put on. So now we get into, this is an example of a slightly slower piece of footage. As I've explained, there is quite a lot of slow motion footage in this piece. To do this, I edited where I wanted the edits to be, and then I just simply got this rate stretch tool and stretched it out to how I wanted it to be. Moving on, side angle shots. This is a good time-lapse shot of the driver and the car driving along. As you can see, this was sped up by 469.54%, using the same rate stretch tool. Another over-the-shoulder shot, similar one here. This is another time-lapse, and then again this was also color corrected, this piece here. So I turned the brightness down mainly to try and get rid of this overexposure. This shot was slowed down again, and I also bring out the reds in the shot so that you get a bit more the emphasis on the lens flare. So this is a nice show of a slow motion panning shot, panning around the car. And as we get to Castle Hill, it's a profile shot of the car. Just more walking around. This is a example of Dutch angle tilt. So it's slightly on its side, a bit more. This is more point of view shots. So as I explained in my plan, this is meant to be sort of a home footage sort of set film, especially at this point. So I've tried to put a few point of view shots in there. More slowed down footage. And now we get into sort of slightly more quicker edits, usually lasting around 4 or 5 seconds. This piece of footage, again, I had to take down the brightness quite a bit. Another point of view shot. This is a point of view shot, and then I sliced it and then slowed this second half of it down. This is a nice shot of a wide angle shoot, and then this I still say sort of over the shoulder. And like I said in my plan, a lot of this footage is sort of B-roll. I put the camera up and sort of try to recreate a spontaneous sort of like event that happens. So, for example, this scene, I was trying to get the actor to run down the hill. So it's just capturing moments like that I think adds to the effect that I'm trying to create of a sort of home video. This is another kind of over the shoulder with a pan. This is my reverse shot of us running down the hill. Another pan, going into nice close-up shot of the car, and a zoom out, which I slowed down. Side shot, and then the car moving away with another, same as I did before. So I got the footage, and I split it, and then this half I slowed down, where I was 0.5%, with a transition of a dip to white, following to the credits. Okay. So this all goes with the music, and then I've also got examples of B-roll footage that I didn't end up using. For example, when cars go by, or general shots that don't really have any, they can't really add to the film. So that is everything in my in my music video that I added to make the video. Okay, thank you for listening.